Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to be making a folio. Well, it's a Halloween picture book, I'm going to call it, for my little buddy Finn, and I hope you'll stay tuned. Well, I saw May make this, and I thought, man, this is not that hard, and we could whip one of these up in no time, and it'll be lots of fun, and anyway, that was my thinking. You only need 3 pieces of 12 by 12 paper to start this, and the paper I use is from American Crafts. It doesn't have a white core. It's solid the whole way through, and it's not textured. Those are both things that I really like in 12 by 12 paper, and I'll put a link below. I got it on Amazon. I like it. I'm not affiliated, you know that. I just liked it and thought I'd tell you about it. The other papers I'm using are old from my stash from Hobby Lobby. They were 8.5 by 11 sheets, which is great if you are doing things that are 8.5 by 11, but I'm doing a 6 by 6 album, so I had to really whack up a lot, so I have a lot of scraps left over. So we can make some other things with those. So let's get started first with some scoring. You're going to score your first sheet. If I didn't say this already, I saw May make this, and I'll link her video below so that you know what hers looks like, and you know, in case my directions are a little bit askew, as they sometimes are. My scoreboard was also a paper trimmer. It was made by Martha Stewart. People ask me about it from time to time. You're going to take your 12 by 12 paper and put it in. This is going to make the basic mechanism, the outside of your folio. I don't know why they call it a folio. I'm going to call it a photo album. So you're going to score at 2 3/4, at 3. Ooh, my thing moved. That's not a good thing when that happens. Then at 9, and at 9 1/4. Then you're going to turn it 1 turn. And on this side, you're going to score it at 2 1/2. Keep jumping out of the grid thing, why don't you? And at 3, at 9 and 9 1/2. Okay, then that's all the scoring on that piece. Then on our other 2 pieces, we're just going to score each sheet at 6. That wasn't hard, was it? Get out of there. Okay. It's fighting me a little bit, as usual. And at 6. Ooh, did I get that crooked too? It makes a difference if you get this crooked. So if you think it's falling out of the grid like mine did, you need to make sure you go back in and fix it, because you want all of your scores to be right. Next up, we're going to do some cutting. One of these we're going to do with our paper trimmer. Well, 2 of them we're going to do with our paper trimmer. And the main one you're going to do by hand. So, with the ones, I'm going to put this underneath so I don't confuse you. So you're going to take your paper. As you see, the score is right there. You want it to be horizontal, and you want to put this paper in at 6 inches. And you're going to cut it in half. The reason you're doing this is it's going to make it easier for you to make your album, because your papers are already cut in half. Same with this one. Your score line is horizontal. You're going to set it at 6 inches. And we're going to whack that in half. That's all you need your paper trimmer for. Then we're going to cut this out. Now, it's maybe hard for you to see where the score lines are, and maybe it's not, but you're going to cut out where the second score line is from the right. See the second one right here? And the second score line above it. You're going to cut, including the score line, you're going to cut that out very carefully because you want your album to be clean and not whacked up like, you know, Sandy would normally do. Same with this one. Cut out the score line. And then you're going to do the same thing to all four corners. So you're going to take out, including the score line. I should have gotten my long bladed scissors, would be a lot easier to do this. As I said, including your score lines. Those score lines will make it look messy. So you got to get them out of there. Okay, I'm going to cut the other two sides out and I'll be right back. Actually, I lied about not having any more cutting to do. We have one more little bit of cutting that we need to do. We're only going to use 3 of these pieces we cut in half. The fourth one, what we're going to do is we're going to cut these down to 5 by 5. So the way I do it is I just leave that weird scored piece in there, and I just put it in my paper trimmer to 5 on both sides, and then I can just throw that out or use it for something else. And then you're going to turn it one turn and make it 5 inches and cut off that extra. Use that for something else. These are going to go in our pockets. We're going to use these for more photos. And this one. I already did that one. Did I do them both? Holy cow, I'm fast. I didn't even know I did them both. Wow. Highly efficient today. What we want to do with our piece that we cut all 4 corners out of, we want to get our bone folder. And I think it would be helpful if you used some type of a ruler. So you're going to take your ruler. This makes scoring these easier, and you're going to take it up to your score line, and you're just going to fold it on that. It doesn't matter on those first scores, but on the second one it's a little bit trickier. So I just put this on the left side of my score. I never use these because I'm never good at using them. You want to make sure these are really well burnished. I do this side, I guess the one that's closest is fine. Actually, these ones are not hard. These ones are the ones that are 1/2 inch. The ones that are going to be trickier are the ones that are 1/4 inch. And yes, I did make 2 that are 1/4 inch and 2 that are 1/2 inch because that's how Maymay made it, so that your bulkiness of your photo album is leveled out between the 2 sides, because one side is 1/4 inch and the other side is 1/2 inch. Okay, this is where it's handy to do this. So you're going to put your ruler right up to that second score line, and you're going to hold it in place. And then I'm going to make sure it's, both of them are nice and burnished. Okay, you just want to make sure both of those score lines are well folded. And I'm going to fold this down a little bit. Okay, now it's nice and folded, and then it goes like this. And I know it doesn't have a closure all the way. That's not a big deal because that's not what we're gonna, that isn't, it isn't finished yet. Okay, this side is a 1/2 inch and this side is a 1/2 inch. These two sides are 1/4 inch, these two. We're gonna work on the ones that have a 1/4 inch score. This side and the left side. So the right side and the left side have 1/4 inch, and those are ones we're gonna work on first. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take one of our 3 pieces of 12 by 12 that we scored at 6 inches. We're gonna fold it at the 6 inch score mark and make sure it's straight and the, you know, it all lines up properly. And then we're just gonna burnish it to make sure it's nice and closed. With our first one, we're going to put this on the right side. And when we put it on, we want to put the open side facing in and the folded side facing out. And the reason we're doing that is so that the bulk goes into the inner part of this. And we're going to make this into a pocket. I'm going to be using my Birdie and my Tombow Mono Aqua Glue for this, but you can use whatever glue you want. And I'm going to make a pocket. So you're going to start on the edge up to your score line, but not on the score line. And then you're going to run a line of glue along the edge and on this side, so that we end up with what looks like a pocket. Can you see that? Then again, you're going to have the open side in the inner facing in and the folded side facing out. And we're going to lay this right up to, for some reason this doesn't seem, okay, let me just explain something to you. When you use your scoreboard and you score things, oftentimes your paper will be a little bit off, and mine is. So I'm going to have to fix that. I'm going to play with my paper until it's lined up properly, like that. And then you want to make sure it's right. And then you're going to take your bone folder. This paper's a little bit thick, and you're going to try and fix it. I'm going to trim it down so that all of my paper is straight. You would do this with a card if you ever have one that's, when you fold it, one side of it's a little bit off. That's what happened with this. Just one little bit. It's just off a teeny tiny little bit. Okay, now it's straight. That's how much it was off. It isn't a lot, but it'll make a difference on an album. So again, with my open side in and my folded side out, I'm hoping my glue is still wet. I think it is. This one over here might not be, so we're going to add a little bit more glue over there. You're going to lay this up to, but not on your score line. You want to make sure it's straight. Okay. And I'm wiping off the excess glue. And then I'm going to open it up. Make sure the inner part looks right. Okay. And then you're going to want to rub it on the sides to make sure those pockets adhere. And then the whole thing folds in. Now you see you got a pocket right there. And I'm going to press down on these to make sure my pocket adheres. Remember when we did the right side, we had the opening on the left side and the fold on the right side. Now we're going to do the right side of the folio. On this side, we're going to do the exact opposite. We're going to put the closed side on the inside and the open side on the outside. We're going to still make a pocket though. No worries. Again, you're going to take your glue. My glue doesn't want to come out now. It's been sitting there. Up to your edge on both sides. And then you're going to go across the bottom by the score line, but not on the score line. I want to make sure I got enough on this edge. Okay. Then again, with your folded side in and your open side out, you're going to go right up to that score line, but not over it. And you're going to lay it down. Okay, so when I close this one up, I have my pocket on the outside. Close this one up, I've got my pocket on the outside. Now for the bottom section. This one May did not make into a pocket. She just glued it all down. And she glued the bottom with the folded part on the furthest out. So we're just going to put glue all over this piece. You could make that another pocket if you wanted to, but I decided I'm just going to follow what she did when it comes to making this. I'm going to change it up when it comes to how I'm going to put everything together. Again, you're going to want your folded part on the outside. I'm going to turn this sideways because it's easier for me to see what I'm looking at when I do it this way. Okay. I want to make sure it all lines up. And if anything is a little bit off, I can see this one. I don't know if you can see this, but on this one, let me see if I can straighten it out, if it'll. I had to use a different brand of paper because I only had 3 sheets of the kind that I normally use, the American Craft, and so I had to go to a different black, and you won't be able to see it once it's all put together, but right now, to me, this is a way different color than this. And I need to cut off a little bit of this on the side because it's, I don't know how to do this the easiest way. I guess right here would be the easiest way. I'll open it up. And I'll show you. Hopefully you can see. Do you see right there that little strip that sticks out? I don't want that to stick out. So we're just going to cut that off. A little bit down here that I need to fix. Okay. And then I can close that up. And then this piece is going to be the closure for our album, and I like to round those corners. Some of you might not like rounded corners. You don't have to round your corners, but I like a rounded corner, so I'm going to do that. My corner rounder, for those of you who've been with me a while, know this is the only tool that I own that I really gush about. It's the Katamaro Pro, and I got it on Amazon. The price went down lately. It was $10. That's what I paid for it when I bought it many years ago, and it works like a champ. For someone who has wrist issues, it always gives me a nice rounded corner, and it always makes that chunk noise. So you know when it makes that noise that you've got a nice rounded corner. So I'm just rounding those 2 corners. Next up, we're going to put our magnet on because you know magnets defy me. So let me grab that and I'll be right back. So I've cut a bunch of paper sheets to 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. That's these. And they're going to be the things that line everything. Then I cut some pieces to 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. These are going to be the things that cover, oh boy, I just threw a bunch of stuff on the floor. Cover the little pieces, that those 2 little pieces that we had that are going to go into our pockets. And unfortunately, I don't know, my craft room, as I'm sure all of you are aware, is always a horrible mess. Well, this is no exception, and I couldn't find my magnets. This is the first time ever that I can't find magnets. I don't know where they went. But anyway, so I cut a small strip of Velcro. We're going to use that instead. So if you want to use magnets, now is the time. If you're going to do Velcro, you'll wait until after you line your pages. Now, I decided that I wanted these two pieces to coordinate with each other. The 4 3/4 by 4 3/4 matted layers. So I think I'm going to do like these. It's probably too dark. Probably should have gone with another color, but it gives me the option to add some more papers to it. I wish I knew what I did with my magnets. It's so frustrating. I think what I'm going to do on these sheets is when I decorate them, I think I'm going to put something on them so that the ones that are black, so that she can write something there if she wants to on the matted layers that are black, if that made sense at all. I'm going to have Rich speed through some of this. I'm going to do the cover and talk to you about the cover while I do it, because I think that's one of those things where it's a little confusing, because I'm going to make it so that it's one continuous piece. Let's do the front cover and the back cover first. Now, when you close this, you want to make sure that everything is squared up. Like, see right there, it's kind of, everything is square, the top and the bottom. You want that to be the case when you put your magnet or your piece of Velcro on. What I thought I would do, and this is pure Sandy, is I thought what I would do is I would take this piece and I would make a mark exactly where the bottom of my lid, we'll call it, is the flap that goes over the bottom of that flap. And then I'm going to cut it right there, and then we're going to have to glue another piece under it. Actually, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this to the piece underneath, and then I'm going to glue another piece on top that matches it. If that made sense, I hope it did. Because I have more sheets of this paper, and it'll make it a lot easier if I just do it that way. If you don't have extra paper that you could do this with, you can put a different piece of paper underneath, because what's going to happen if you cut it in half, like if I would take this one sheet and cut it in half, or cut it right where this ends, so that I have one continuous flow of a sheet, when I lift this up, this piece is going to be different, and that would be, I think that's a little odd. So take this piece, and I'm going to lay it inside, and then, okay, this is what it looks like if you lay them side by side. It's the exact same piece, but I only need the top piece that's going to go from the about 1/8 of an inch from the top down to the bottom. So I'm going to start it right there. So it is about 2 3/8 is what I need from the top. I'm going to round the corners a little bit, and then when you push it up so it's straight, it should have matched up. Oh, because I didn't have it in the right position. Hold on. There. That should be the right position. And if it's not, I can always, I need to move it over this way a little bit. There. You just want to make sure that you line everybody up, like the cat and the hat. I'm taking it right down to the very bottom here. And then when I put on my Velcro, I need to make sure that I put my Velcro on so it's like that. So let's put our Velcro on now. I'm just going to put the underneath piece, and I'm going to put it right on this, what do you call this thing? Witch's brew. I'm going to put it on that. I'm going to put mine going vertically. And then I'm going to take the backing off of the other piece if I can do it. Sometimes it fights you. Ugh, okay. Then, before I lay this in place, I need to make sure that everything is lined up. Okay, so there you have it so far. So now we've got the front done, and I'm going to use the same paper for the back. This is just 5 3/4 inch square. So there is the front and the back of our album. So that's that piece. Should I have lined the inside of that? Probably, but I didn't. Okay, so now let's just start gluing things in. I'm one of those people that I do like to match things up. Now my album is going up and down. So when these come out, they're going to go in this direction. So I want to make sure that when I glue things in place, I'm gluing them so that the things are going in the direction I want them to go in. I might make this plain purple so that she can write on that if she wants to. Now, this one has a pocket right here. The pocket is two 3/4 inches tall. I'm going to have this match up exactly like the other one did. So I'm going to do it right there. So when you cut this one, you're going to make it go to the top of the pocket and have a little bit of room at the bottom. So it's going to be one continuous piece, as I said, when you look at it. This paper does not have a direction, so I kind of picked it on purpose because I figured it would be confusing enough. Wait, I'm going to put this paper inside so you can see where the top of the pocket is. There's the top of the pocket. So I'm going to put my piece of paper right up to that top. You want to line it up so that it's at the same, hopefully you can see that. You want to line up so it's right up to the other piece. See that? The only thing that's there is that little gap. I think that's cute. I'm going to make this piece go like this, even though, no, it should go like that. Yeah. Wait, which way does my pocket go? My pocket goes the other way. My pocket goes like this. So I'm going to make this section go like that. I'm going to have this piece facing out. Okay, so that's that side. Now we need to do the center. I thought I'd do the center with this paper because it kind of matches it all. And then I'll put a green page on the left side next to it so that the green doesn't look so unusual. And then my pocket's on the outside over here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut it at 2 5/8. Go through a lot of glue doing this, which is great because I have 1,000 kinds of glue. I'm too, it takes so long to make with tear tape that I just felt that I'm going to go the other way with it. Okay, that's that one. And then my last piece is this one. So I'm going to show you step by step how I decorate it in another video, because it would be just too long if I decorated it too. So this is what it looks like when it's closed. Then we're going to open it up. I'm going to have to work on my Velcro because it doesn't like being in there. So I'm going to come up with a different plan for that. Maybe it's the paper, but I'm going to work on that. Then this part opens down like this. And then these two pieces are inside. And again, I'm going to do more decorating. Then this is the 5x5 cards that we made. And we're going to slide it in the little slot. And then there's that. Then here's the other pocket. And there's the middle of it. You should be able to put 14 photos in here, which should be a lot for one Halloween, but you know, if it's their first Halloween like Finn's. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make one of these for Christmas and for Easter for his first ones of each of those, and then I'm going to make a box to hold them all, and they'll all be able to sit like this inside with the holiday written on the top. I thought that would be fun. So I hope you enjoyed this and that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and please tell your friends about me on social media because you know I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.